Villanova coach Kyle Neptune joins us here on the Ion College Basketball Podcast. It is wonderful to see you. How has practice been? How are you feeling about your team leading up into the big reveal here in November?
Yeah, I love our team. We got obviously a lot of new guys, like most of college basketball.
Yeah.
And the one thing you're looking for as a coach when a lot of new guys are coming together is how they're going to bond. Are they going to like each other?
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to get them connected? And I'll say our guys are pretty well connected early in the year, and I love the synergy that we have right now.
Well, that's huge because I take you at your word for that, because I know, and just talking to coaches over the years, that connectivity, when there's no way of predicting if it's going to happen or not, particularly with the portal. You bring in different guys from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different schools, and there's just no telling how they're going to blend. But you like what's happening on the practice floor in the locker room so far. All the reports are positive.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it starts with our leadership. Eric Dixon's been amazing. Obviously, he's been back and in college basketball for a good amount of time now. But Jordan Longino as well. Both guys have played in Final Fours here, but also had some tough times here as well. And I think both help you grow. And to those guys' credit, they've done an unbelievable job with and I think in college basketball, you have to say this way now, with the new guys and the young guys, right? And they're two different entities, and with all the guys we have coming in, they've done a great job kind of, shouldering the burden of explaining to guys what Villanova basketball is, and trying to hold guys accountable to it every day.
How's Uga Poplar come in with this group? What does he look like? What do you expect his role to be, and how he'll be utilized?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I don't know if you obviously you watch a lot of film, you see he has some obviously great plays at the rim. But when you see his athleticism in person, it's really impressive. Not just him vertically, but also how fast he is. His first step is really impressive. And then he's a great shooter as well. High level shooter. We've had a lot of good shooters over the years at Villanova. He's right there. We do have a lot of shooting drills and different marks we like to hit to ascertain how good as shooters guys are. And he's right there with the great shooters that we've had over the years at Villanova. So we're excited for him to come in and display all his talents and help us compete at the highest level.
I've always appreciated our relationship with the fact that you've always been a straight shooter with me. I know you've had some good moments and it's been bumpy, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
How have you gone through this offseason? Who have you sought counsel from, in addition to Jay, obviously, but to best prepare yourself for what you know is going to be a pressure-packed year? You know the standard at Villanova. You were part of it. You helped build it. What are you doing personally as a coach and with your staff to ensure or best ensure that Villanova is in position to be a tournament team again?
Yeah, we have to. I think that I understand in sports, it's right to talk about pressure. It's right to talk about standards. It's right to talk about goals and where you should end up by the end of the year. And we have goals. Like we want to compete to be Big East champions every year. And if we can compete to be a Big East champion, we know that when you get to the tournament, we'll be right there because we're one of the best. I think we're the best college basketball league in the country. So, if we're competing in the Big East level, we'll be right there to compete to win national championships as well. But really, the way you get there is what you do every day and how you compete every day. It starts in practice, film, how you eat, how you lift. All those little things, you got to just stack days and stack good days and get better and better and better throughout the season. And that's what we've been focusing on. It starts with our staff and prepping for the season and making sure we're as organized as possible. And then it permeates to the players and our leadership, trying to hold guys accountable each day and try to make sure that we're growing throughout the season, throughout the off season first. And now we're at the precipice of the season, trying to grow throughout the season.
How are you learning week by week as a coach, as someone that has this job? I mean, holding the position of head coach and following Jay Wright, it is in some ways enviable and in some ways not enviable. But how are you progressing along? And what do you know now that you couldn't have possibly known when you got the job? You thought you could try and best prepare yourself, but there's stuff that you weren't going to know until you lived it. So what do you know now that you didn't know 2 years ago, Kyle?
I think when you're assistant coach, you're working really hard. You're working every day. You're trying to do whatever you can to help the program. And I thought as assistant, I tried to put my best foot forward and just work as hard as I possibly could. And I had a lot of great experiences. But having said that, I don't think anything can truly prepare you to be a head coach, except for being a head coach and getting those miles and getting those steps. And I also believe that both things. Everything helps you along the way, and sometimes you go through positive things that can help you, but sometimes, unfortunately, you go through some negative times and things that you'd rather not have happen. But I think it all prepares you and helps you be more successful in the end. So, I think that's the path for me personally right now. We've had some years that we know we haven't played up to the standard of Villanova basketball. And, me, myself personally, I've tried to learn from it, and then, try to have our staff learn from it as well. And then impart a new plan to the players and try to get better each day.
You mentioned Eric Dixon before. To me, he feels like quintessential Villanova player. Like he's the definition of what it means to come into that program, thrive, be a culture guy. Everything filters down through him when it comes to a leadership standpoint, performance standpoint. He is setting the tone in multiple ways to kind of dictate how this season should go, in your opinion, Kyle?
100%. I mean, he's our best leader. He's our hardest worker. He's been our most productive guy in college basketball thus far that's coming back. So all roads in our program lead to Eric Dixon and go through Eric Dixon in terms of what we expect of a Villanova basketball player.
Lastly, we're sitting here at the Garden. I'm just curious, and these guys are professional basketball players, so I don't know how much time they do or don't have, but do you have a lot of contact with Jalen, Mikhail? I mean, Dante's now not in the building anymore, but just Josh. Do they get time to come back to spend on campus to work out with the guys? Do you have them talk to them? I'm just wondering, in the midst of a true renaissance for New York basketball and the Knicks and what it's meant here, and the very interesting dynamic between having Philly guys do it here, what is the relationship? And obviously, you recruited and coached those guys, so I wonder how they're still in contact and kind of uplifting the program.
Yeah, I think the great thing about Villanova is that we're uniquely connected, and I think the pride that each person that comes through the program takes is at the highest possible level. And those guys are no different. They're around a lot. They help mentor our guys. We're all in constant communication as a Villanova basketball community. So we feel very fortunate that we have those guys as pillars and examples of what you can get when you go through the Villanova basketball program. And we're just really proud of them and all other guys that have been achieving at a high level.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time. Very interesting season ahead for you, rooting for your success and for Villanova to return to the top of the league. And thank you so much for joining me, Kyle.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.